Mkwai mwaiseni.
Mkwai mwaiseni bane.
Twamisengera. Tomutambula. Tomutambula. Takulandi London kwe Chinyanja first.
Chinyanja?
Kamba Chinyanja.
Vanefe tinakulira musaka efe Chinyanja chatu.
Takulandirani.
Chaku Chechnya. Mukuza ku Chechnya.
Chechnya. Ningani ya kunya manje. Mama kama kunya manje. Chechnya buti. Chani Chinya.
There was a place we used to call Chechnya.
Okay.
Which is Chosto. They are their own language back in the day. Their own language. So we used to speak in codes. Yes. So we used to speak in code.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
It was coded language. So
it was a coded language. That's what we used to use. So we didn't want about my parents, vaziva hakamba chani. So tuzopete vango dabwa chati. Abwera mzikwa. Acha ndati pa Chicago linayo ija. Especially ngati na my girls, like if the girls around.
Yes.
The guy will just come up to me. What Chicago is ready? You're like, no problem with about 14 hours. So my girl, what dabwa chati. There's some business happening.
Growing up has all challenges, and it's like momo. You haven't grown. Sadly, you haven't grown.
No.
There will be need for you to go through certain phases in life. Even Jesus himself, for him to be the Jesus, you can imagine, he was tempted. Yeah. If Jesus had to be tempted, who are you now to say you can't be tempted? But we, in this time and age, we've got to learn to resist temptation.
Yes.
There's so many things that are tempting us. I was just listening to this clip by HH where I was telling the guys to say, you guys, in my cabinet, if you think I'll give you a plane to go and get dollars somewhere to take and get dollars, the presidential plane, forget. And temptation. How are they born? What DNA do they have?
Well,
surely.
If you're talking about temptation, everybody goes through temptation, Yes. Everybody will go through temptation. I mean, it's just a norm. It's just part of human nature.
Okay.
Yes. I think the only person who ever, actually avoided temptation or fought temptation was Jesus Christ.
But now he almost fell into it. But he was given an opportunity to be tempted. There was a temptation came. Turn these stones into, if you are really the son of what? God. come off that cross. You can imagine, ka? Yeah. At what moments are people tempted? When the desire for freedom is greatest, it will make a difference.
At your weakest.
Yes, it's like temptation has comes at a point where there's something good. You will miss out. So you will be like, say, you'll be considered, say, such things.
Anyway, let's welcome Dr. Danny. Dr. Danny has just joined us.
Yeah, we were just talking, and Dr. Danny, ndo wali uya uyani ndo
is muted.
Ndo wali uya uyani ndo ulayinza kunganda ndo wagwire kumuji ndo goire kumuji wagwire lili kumuji
ndaga mwaka wiza
ulaya mwaka wiza ndo so ulakuya kumuji ndo we wachanda mule umpwepalela ndawa macha
Matrai pshati mule alisa kumushi
nomba mulakuya lili kumuji ndo
I think I'll go next time or next year. I don't know.
Nomba mmepshewa Dani ati nishi wamacha walanda bo wacho walesekera nishi.
What did you say?
No, he just said when are you going home?
My comrade. My comrade.
That one I hate.
Ulakuya lili kumujindo.
Kumujindo, it can mean something else.
It can mean something else.
Yes.
It can mean something else.
That one will be something else now. It will be interpreted in something else.
Yeah, this is a lighter moment. It's a lighter moment.
Okay.
So in all languages, kwa diba word Zambia kuti walanda. It's offending, but somewhere else it's okay.
It's normal language.
It's normal language.
No, I agree with you. So, gentlemen, let's start the program. We're already at 20 minutes in, but it's good that you've joined us. Thank you for joining us, and welcome, gentlemen, and welcome, listeners.
Where's the echo coming from?
Oh, there's an echo, not for me.
Yeah,
definitely not for me. Yeah, whoever's muted now is better. So gentlemen, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Of course, this is the Redtagmedia Podcast, where we discuss national matters here in the diaspora and share ideas on how we can better certain things. Share ideas on how we can implement, certain solutions better. And of course, we align with the UPND government, and we're supporting the president HH 100%. And we're behind him, and we of course represent various organizations. My name is Chandat Lufia. I'm the vice chairperson here, US Canada Diaspora, and of course we are joined by Mr. Hamwami, who's based in England, and Dr. Danny is of course he's a Canadian, but of course he's run away because he doesn't like the pod, so he's busy enjoying himself somewhere in Puerto Rico. So, gentlemen, Hamwami, welcome.
Thank you. I feel welcomed already in Stratford upon Avon. That's where I am now. It's just getting dark. Time is about 19:23. It's almost raining. I had a hectic day, and here I am, ready to share ideas. Yes.
Dr. Danny.
Yes, please. I'm out here in the Caribbean, enjoying the warm weather. It's me who is having an echo.
Hamwami, mute yourself, Hamwami.
I mute myself.
Better.
Okay, better. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just I'm enjoying myself here in the Caribbean with the warm weather throughout the year, running away from the cold Canada. But yes, we're ready to discuss some national issues. We're ready to discuss some national issues.
Yes, of course, of course. So we got some topics at hand today, and of course, oh, there's a feedback again. I don't know who it is. I think the first topic that I think, oh, gentlemen, if you're not talking, just mute yourself, and then we give each other a chance, and then when we call your name, then you unmute yourself, just to make the program run smoothly. Of course, the first thing that is on the list, gentlemen, is of course we heard one of the burning topics throughout the week, where the South African police requested to have access to our former late President Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, so that they can carry out an autopsy. Because if you remember, the story begins when certain rumors started coming on social media to say he was actually poisoned. And of course, whether it was done through malicious, or they were trying to paint the president in a bad image, but it actually backfired, because now people are trying to question, okay, fine, if he was poisoned, can we have an autopsy so that we know if truly he was poisoned, or he died of natural death, or something else? We all know. But so that was the main thing that was there. And of course, we had, I think, the family, they've responded saying that that information didn't come from us, and of course he didn't die of poisoning. So they've put up an injunction to of course stop the South African president from accessing the body, saying that they still own the rights, or they are the only ones who should have access to the body. Them, the funeral parlor that they're in, and maybe their doctor and the family, that's it, nobody else. And until all the court proceedings are resolved, then we go forward from there. So, Dr. Danny, what do you think on this issue? If you can just chime in and probably trying to break it down and analyze the Lungu family's stance in trying to keep the body for as long as it is. Like, why are they hiding? What people are asking questions? What is it that they're hiding?
They are definitely hiding the body from the public. That is very, very clear here. It has nothing to do with the Zambian government, nothing to do with the South African government stuff. The Lungu family are hiding the body from everybody else. That means there's something really, really wrong here. Things are not straightforward. They're hiding something very fishy. It's not that Lungu died a natural death or something like that. So it's definitely something that the government need to follow up, in my view, because there's nothing serious about just saying, okay, let's do the postmortem. If he was, let's clear the air, because when I was talking at that time, was talking as a PF Secretary General, and when he was making that announcement, the family did not say no, that statement is not coming from us. They were quiet, and which means they agreed with him when he was talking. So now they can't distance themselves from that statement, because Nakachinda at that time was talking with authority as a party, and even mentioned that the family suspect he was poisoned.
Yes.
He mentioned the word the family. He mentioned them, and they never said, no, it's not us. At that time. So, and he was talking on South African Broadcasting Corporation. It's a big organization. It's a big, media platform for him to say those things. So he said the family suspect he was poisoned. So I don't know why they are saying no, we didn't say that, because Nakachinda at that time was speaking with the blessing of the family. So in my view, I think the South African government should pursue it and make sure that we see the body.
Definitely. Raham Wami.
Oh yeah, here's my take on this one. Welcome, that one. Welcome, our only lady. Oh, we give a chance to welcome.
Yeah.
I'm actually
the way you are, there's a lot of echo.
Okay, maybe I can talk now.
Yeah, welcome. Go ahead, Raham, and welcome, Ramich.
So here, my take is this on this.
Thank you.
Lungu, on this Lungu thing. You know, action speaks louder than words. Words have been like Lungu died. When someone dies, there are certain actions that start to take place. You get to prepare the body, burial, somebody for that arrangement, coffin, uncles accord, that kind of thing. There's a procedure. Actions. Now, if actions prolong, they take longer than necessary. Even in the villages where we've been there, we've attended funerals, third day, fourth day, there's no burial. People start talking. Why are we not burying? We are troubling the dead. Nishi, there's something. Even on the third, fourth day, there's something. You know, when you talk about a person of that stature passing away, you are talking about dignitaries being invited to that funeral. There's a program, and that program should happen because there are many people that will be invited. There'll be resources spent, and somehow you have just flow a certain line of events. They come automatically, but this is lacking in President Lungu's thing. And this now has built a lot of suspicion to say that there's more than our eyes can see. This is just a tip of an iceberg. There's more. Maybe it's not even poisoning. Because if it's poisoning, we're talking about him having had some food to eat. It would be how did he carry himself towards those days? He was with people. They'll be asked. Of course, he ate, he drank. Aye, those things. He ate, he drank. Maybe I don't know, Jameson, whatever. So poisoning an individual of that stature should have some connections. And when one is with the wife, I don't know. Are women capable of killing men? I'm not saying they can. It's Esther who did it, but at what point?
Any human being can kill somebody.
At what point can the woman who was with Edgar, of course they went the two of them, at what point can that poisoning take place? There are people who he was with. Those people can be interviewed. Poisoning is not a simple issue. We're not saying that poisoning can even mean inhaling some gas somewhere, maybe in some room, some things were just put there to just make the room. The air was poisoned. It cannot just be food, you know. There are many things we are looking at here, but in the interim, asking for an autopsy of that body is in the public interest. It's no longer private. The public must know. Look at what happened to the Zambian government. There was a lot of economic activities that slowed down. There was so much tension. 10 days or 5 days of national mourning were declared. There was some kind of paralysis. There was some kind of paralysis in the setup of the country. The country was not at ease. Now, if rumors of poisoning comes, who else would want to know that this man was poisoned? Is it just the Lungu family or even me as an individual?
Conclude, because we know you are one, you go on and on. We got other people also here.
I would love to know.
Yeah.
It's in the public interest.
Go ahead.
Poisoning thing. It's in the public interest. People want to know. The issue is in public interest, even that the public needs to know. Yeah, I yield.
Okay, we gotta welcome Mwanza, Oscar Mwanza. I think Oscar Mwanza, you're back home?
Yes, I'm here.
Fantastic.
How is everyone?
Everybody's
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, and of course, welcome, Mitch, Dr. Chikonka. But I think I would want to ask you, Mwanza, because, Kaya Mwambo, Western Province, Muntu akafa, is it normal to keep the body as long as they've kept the Lungu? And then is it also normal where Stimverako, Achibululu, my uncles, my aunties, I mean, I'm sure the former president has got a mother. I'm sure he's also got a father. Manje karibu mvera kwa watu family mabigi, vachikulire ku family. So what's your take on the issue here? Why are they prolonging the burial, and what are they hiding? Because the topic here was, the South African police were trying to actually have access to the body so that they do an autopsy because of the allegation of him being poisoned. Of course, it was first heard from the so-called Nagachinda. He brought it out, and people are questioning to say, Gawanam poisona. What's your take on the issue?
Thank you. Well, that's a long one. So it's going to be a long answer. Yes, it is normal. I hear that all the time when people say, okay, it's not normal to keep a body for that long. That is not normal. So that one is out. But it is also normal for someone to not have a very big family network. And it's a Nakurama town, we know that, because it's the same thing when people say somebody who has no village, no chief, no what. It's possible. So what if I have my mother is Zimbabwean, and my father is Zambian, but he's Mbunda, and I was born in Choma. So am I Tonga? Is that my chief? I can't use my father's chief or whatever because I don't know that place. And I can't use my mother because I also don't know that place. The place I know, so Mwambo Neswanga has been Tongalized. You see what I'm saying? So it's possible. So, and I face that problem all the time when it's filling in my forms, whether it's for firearms or what, the chief makes you the Tonga, or they want you the chief where you don't even know the person. So it's always a challenge. It's not bad on my town, so it's possible. And all those people I grew up with, Kuchome, when I came here, they are all gone, completely gone. So if Oscar dies today, kuchoma the Oscar Abwajuari Bebruwa kuchoma. So it's possible. So anyway, on a serious note, this poisoning thing is we play a lot, but actually we should also take it serious. It was Mazoka poisoned. We don't know how Chiruba died. That also needs to be investigated. Lungu Naeve. But for me, my take on Lungu, there's no poisoning. Lungu was already sick. You could hardly even hear. He wasn't even audible before he went to South Africa. You could see this man is sick. Lungu died out of the operation. But because Nakachinda and PF wanted to cause chaos in the country, they thought people would go on the streets. When they say he was poisoned, that's how they made that reckless comment. There's no poisoning. I don't think they would come up with that poisoning thing. But, Nakachinda made that allegation. And when you look at Lungu, he's a former president, it needs to be looked in the public interest. Like the previous speaker said, it needs to be verified or investigated. And if it turns out that there's no poisoning, I don't know what they would do to Nakachinda, because that's what I'm more interested in than anything else. So I hope they don't find any poisoning. I don't think there's any poisoning. I'm also disappointed with South African police. They behave as though they're in Somalia or whatever. Lungu died 8 months ago. This poisoning thing was mentioned right then. Then it has taken them this long to act on it. So that's I submit. So I don't think there's any poisoning. Yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Chukwanka. Chukwanka, are you there? Or you're still
just writing notes?
Buying presents for your kid. Anyway, let's go to. Oh, Makalinda's also dropped down. She's disappeared. Yeah. So with me, my take on this issue, it's I feel like, there's really something that's amiss with all this. Whether it's poisoning, whether he died of natural death. Either way, why prolong the burial of the president, the former president? I mean, it's just not an ordinary human being. We're looking at a former head of state. And if they want to, hold that body to ransom and pikimula the current government so that they can do whatever they want, I think it's very, very wrong. And I feel like, look, it only brings a bad light to the Lungu family. People now, if you go on the streets of anywhere in Zambia, they're like, look, we've even forgotten about it now. And, we don't even know why, all this is happening, because they thought if they pull this move, they're going to pull some sympathy from Zambians and condemn the current government. But I think people have read through the lines. They've come up to say, look, I think this is now on the part of the family. And like we're saying, he was just an ordinary man. And, looking at, like I was asking you about tradition and stuff like that. And, I came to realize, because it even brought me back to the late Mlongoti and the late Precious Wale. If you remember correctly, they're the ones who first came up with the idea to say, Lungu is not a Zambian. Now, I'm not saying they were right, but I'm just, trying to analyze things with all this information and with what's currently happening. They said that, look, one time, there's another politician, I forget his name, they were going to campaigns in the Eastern Province. They passed through his village, and it just passed through just like that. Not even going to say, oh, guys, can we stop over at my village? Let me go see my grandmother, grandfather, my brothers, sisters, I'm sure he's got brothers and sisters. We've only seen that sister was insulting the Attorney General, but we've never heard of anybody else We've never heard of any cousins. We've never heard of, like it's sort of like a mystery behind his background, that people want to know. If we look at our president, it's easy to trace him. You just go to Wengwa and you'll find his family trees there. Okay, but if we look at our late president, if we go to his village, I mean, it's sort of like kusakira. And where are the chiefs anyway? That people are asking questions. Nanga mfumu zokamba pali mwana wao anankalapo president kuchoka kumunzi kuti, which is a very big achievement. Bali kuti bwanyi swanga nyamuke no kamba njira vane tieni, let's forget about this hatred, because Montuli onse, like even at the family level, you can argue, but when it comes to a funeral, you all come together. But this one, it shines a bad light in the Lungu name. And people will be like, should I even get married into that family? Because if they can do something like this, imagine what else they can do. So I'm not saying that, they've done anything bad or whatever, maybe they've got the right, but I think certain things, when somebody is a national hero, because as much as people loved him, some people hated him, we cannot scrap off the fact that he was the head of state. That one, we cannot erase it from memory or erase it from the history books. His name is going to be there as he was the head of state. So I think on that one,
Bachirofia, before you go to the next one, I ask you a question. I was born in Choma. My father is from Wabumbu, Western. My mother is from Zimbabwe. I was born in Choma. So who is my chief? If I become president, who is my chief?
Because I know Mbundas, no, it's not Mwanza, but Mwanza.
No. Mwanza
not that one?
No. My mother is half Tumbuka, half Ndebele. Okay? So my grandfather came from Malawi, the grandmother came from Zimbabwe. They came when there was the Federation of Rhodesia in Nyasaland. So they came as my grandmother was a teacher, my grandfather was just working for, this is my job. So my mother was born in Zimbabwe, of Malawian and Zimbabwean parents. They come to Zambia in Choma. My father now is a Zambian by birth, but he's from Western Province. I get born in Choma. So who is my chief who's going to speak for me when I die? Because this chief thing, let's take it out. Yes, everybody should have a bururu, but to think a chief for me is gonna, if I'm president, is gonna come and say village Ikwad, which is my village. That's the question I asked.
No, but with you it's a little bit complicated because it's not like a normal Zambian, you're born and stuff like that. Like me, that's why even on my range it says, this is your chief. This is your village. And the family tree can be traced. You see? So it's a little bit easier that way. But with you, of course, you were born here, you were Zambian. Okay? Your parents became Zambian. Okay? They were nationalized Zambian. So you have to follow. So if they settled, like where did they settle? Your mother settled in you said Choma. Yeah. So because that's we follow what matrilineal, isn't it? So you have to follow your mother lineage. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe here can I contribute something here? When we use the word chief, it's just a guiding word for an elders. It doesn't necessarily mean the chief as in title, just elderly people that can give the guidelines. It's not per se like Chief Mwanza in my case, Chief whoever, Chief Chitimkura, just elderly people who can be in charge of a situation and then they put up Mwambo, how things happen. At least it must be traceable. You, Mr. The one who was born wherever in Choma, the really mother, you have people that can stand. Yes, yeah, you have people that can stand for you. People can be consulted.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
enzembela ng'ombe paja. Now, the Lungu arrangement is there are a lot of gray areas that do not make things to add up. A lot of gray areas. Mr. Chirucha just said they passed through his village. Passing through a village where you were grown or your uncle stays there, surely. No, it should raise some pomp. The head of state is passing there. Hapo ndio mchimtengo mwentenzo kusoberera umo paja tenzo kutera hapo bola paja. Someone was even sitting at a block at his farm. Na ikalape block alena, oh, this is me at my farm. That's the kind of thing we want. But for Lungu, it's not there. Remember, when they went for that burial, which almost took place, it was announced that there was not going to be any body viewing. No body viewing. People traveled, even his relatives, they traveled all the way to South Africa. No body viewing. Your uncle, your friends cannot see your body. No body viewing. Madani.
Anyway, Ibwe, let's give chance to Vakalinda. Vakalinda, I think she's eager to say something.
We will come for body viewing, Vakalinda, when you die.
I can't speak. I'm in a lonely place.
Okay.
Can't speak. I'm just listening in.
We shall come for body viewing.
No problem. Just keep on listening. Then we'll. Yeah.
We shall come for body viewing.
Let's conquer.
Yes, so I'm having a little bit of a hard time to connect with you guys, dude. It's like I can hear myself or I can hear a lot of back feedback on your something is not connected well. I don't know if it's my system or your systems in that end. Everybody who's talking seems like I have a back feedback. You know how it is, like you can hear yourself like if you're speaking.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
it's
No,
stopped now.
that's from that much of Hamwami is muted now. If you can hear now, it's clear now.
Oh, thank God. Okay. I think this sounds better. All right. So I don't even know where we are. It looks like everybody's putting a 30-minute kind of rendition here. What are we doing? Is that about Lungu's death or something?
No. The topic we're discussing, let me just bring you up to speed real quick. Is when the South African police they requested to view to have access to the body of ECL.
Yeah.
Because there was that allegation of him being poisoned. So that's where we are. We're just trying to establish, was he poisoned? And why all this harboring of the body? Why not just bury him? Like, what's the big deal, really? What are they hiding?
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack on that one. So first of all, I'll go back to Nakachinda because as Zambians, naturally, we are people that are just like who want to just to attract attention. So I feel like Nakachinda he's the only person who talk about poison. However, there was an article that I read during that period of death of Lungu, and I think I think it's a Banda, one of the PF big guys. Banda was on an interview saying there were some people that actually the people that were taking care of Lungu in the hospital that, like, I don't know where they came from. Somehow they were like a different team of people that were taking care of Lungu in the hospital when he was sick before he died. So they had that suspicion that there was this poisoning and stuff. When that was said, I even said, these people should not speak about things that they're not sure of. If it's just attracting attention, this is the wrong way to do it. You cannot bring out anything about poisoning, especially somebody of his status. It can bring a lot of problems going forward. And here we are now. So now, that aside, and when you think of all these things, Lungu's family had tried to bargain Lungu's body alongside Makebi Zulu and others in two folds. One was they bargained Lungu's body for forgiveness of their sins, basically, by the government. Everything else was supposed to be given, like, okay, let's bury our president and forget about all the crimes and other things that you're accusing his wife and the family and stuff. That's what they thought would do. That's number one. The second part was that these politicians like Given Lubinda and Makebi Zulu and all these other people, they were also in another team trying to say, let's buy time until we get close to elections. Once we bring in this situation, then Lungu is going to be, it's going to be like a, what you call Hail Mary type of thing. Like the elections will be all diluted. The popularity of UPND will be diluted by the funeral and the sympathizers of Lungu to vote for PF going forward. Both did not work. This is where we are. And that the fact that both did not work, they have been trying very seriously to not to give the body to the Zambian government, especially the Lungu family. I think they have been trying to do that, to continue bargaining that they should be forgiven. So that's why they kept holding on to that. But the government of Zambia says, we are not doing that. We are not doing that. We have to bury this, and then those cases will go on as they are. The president he said, let them do this. We can talk about any other things after. But they don't want to do that. So they still kind of hold on. Now, my politicians, Luinda and Makebi Zulu, they realized that their bargain was not working. They just abandoned the whole thing. And this is what the whole situation is. I think Walungu, if you have autopsy fee and all that kind of stuff, it's just obviously not going to even go anywhere. Obviously, when there's an allegation like that, it will be immature to bury a body by a responsible government. They would seem like they're hiding something. Otherwise, the next thing that they could do is to go and exhume the body to test it. So yeah, before it gets into the soil, they may as well do the autopsy here. This is where we are. And the problem is that we don't even know if the South African government will disclose what they'll find. They'll find out. It's only them and their pathologists that are going to find out what is going on there. It's not going to be like a public, pathology event. It's definitely going to be private. They'll go ahead and take the samples and tissues and things like that, and that's it. That's what they'll do. So it's them who will come in and tell people that, oh well, we'll find the bullet hole in this thing, or we'll did and this. We will never know the result of the autopsy because it's not going to work. Nobody will know. I think we are really wasting a lot of time trying to even. I think HH has completely moved on from these things. Like Kachibe, let's just continue building the country. They can figure out themselves later when they do. I don't see that our government really trying to go through this. This is all media sensation. If they find that he was shot, he had a bullet wound somewhere, or he was poisoned, yeah, that's another conversation. But as it is right now, it's almost impossible for anybody to know what the results will be soon enough.
Speculation.
Yeah, it's all speculation. Yeah.
No, thank you very much for that contribution. I think let's move ahead because we got a lot of topics to tackle here. I think now this one, but Danny, you proposed it to say you wanted to talk about it. The issue of teachers' homes, and I think Bahamwami, being a professional teacher, can also chime in. I think he's saying there's a need for that, and if it can be brought up to the attention of relevant authorities, maybe to be a good move. But then, can you just explain your concept and what your ideas are behind all this, building teachers' homes all across the rural setting? Dr. Danny, you must be muted. Oh, it's dropped down now. It's dropped down now. So anyway, so basically what he was saying is this.
Can I give you
he was saying he wants, there he is. Okay. All right, Dr. Danny, you're back. Are you there now?
It's kicking me out after some time. It just tosses me out of there.
Yeah, just when you want to speak, eh?
Yeah. Anyway. I think Bamkonk has articulated the issue very well. I think those were the plan B stuff of thing, but because I think to me there's one day we're gonna know the truth, because that auntie, whatever, the sister of his, I don't think she's very disciplined in terms of what she talks about. I think she will not keep the secret for too long, that woman. Even when she was crying, she was reviewing a lot of things. You know, that type of thing. So I think she cannot hold the secret for too long. We will know the truth very soon. Yeah.
Actually, brought up the second point or second topic, and this was your topic that you proposed of building teachers' homes across the rural setting. Just to make it more attractive for teachers and so that they do not,
Yeah.
Teachers,
I had this
teachers,
idea.
teachers,
Actually,
teachers,
it
and
just
other civil
popped into
servants,
my head to say, you know
and
what?
other civil servants.
If
Make
we
it
want
broad.
to,
yes,
first of all, empower our
just
citizens,
mute yourself, Ramacha.
okay,
Ramacha
we
will
should
call you.
make them
Okay.
get a piece of the national cake, And here we have a problem of housing. I saw one article. There was a teacher's house which was almost falling. There were actually some beams of some timber which was supporting the walls, and it was almost falling down. And that was a real teacher's house in rural Zambia. So I was saying, why not come up with a program where the government, I don't know, whichever ministry can run that, to say, you know what, wherever you are, you can build a local teacher's house, all right? And then the government will come and look at it. If it's of good quality, they pay you. So sort of having a countrywide small-scale home contractors or home builders, ordinary Zambians like you and me can go there, get a bit of resources, go to Shikatende and build a house there, and the government will come and buy it off me. That way, I think it can really solve the problem of teachers in the rural areas, and also empower Zambians. That's a little piece of money. Now, somebody would say, "Oh my goodness, people are gonna overprice the homes, and they will be selling them for $10 million, whatever." No, 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 no. The government can go around and say, "In this location, the maximum we can pay is this." So the government will do some survey first and see, because you're not gonna build a mansion in Shikatende worth $10 million for the teacher. So the government can lead the whole thing to say, you know what, in Shikatende, the home we're going to pay for, if somebody builds, is this amount of money, this amount of money. So they decide the price themselves. And whoever wants to jump in can go in and build that type of house and then get a bit of money. It was just my idea. I think it can work. It's working in Burkina Faso, by the way. Not with the houses, but in Burkina Faso, it's the markets. They have opened the building of markets in rural settings to the small businessmen, ordinary citizens, to build markets, and then the government pays them for that. So that was my idea.
Okay.
I don't know what
All
everybody
right.
thinks.
Hamwani, if now you can come in, Hamwani.
Okay, I'm here now. The struggle about teachers'
I'm not
accommodation.
hearing anything.
The struggle about teachers' accommodation is real. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the struggle about teachers' accommodation in the rural areas is very real. And speaking from my own setup of a school that I'm at, there is a man who has become enterprising. He stays about less than a kilometer, about 500 meters away from the school. This man is a farmer. He has started to build some 2-3-roomed houses, and he rents them out to teachers using his own resources. Pan bricks, he plasters them. 2-3 rooms, a teacher stays there. Quite decent, using his own resources, and is assured of a teacher staying there. And by the way, they are all paid housing allowance. All teachers are paid housing allowance. So from that housing allowance, those teachers, they pay that person some money. The whole idea of some people coming to build houses and then sell them to government, at some point, it's not feasible. It's not workable, because some schools are on places that are sitting on land that is not titled. For government to pay for those houses, there must be reason, like, is this land titled? Is it traditional land? is it farmland? Because some schools are even in farms, owned by white men. So the need for tenure, what type of tenure is that land in, is very important, because government cannot just pay for a house that is in someone else's farm, because tomorrow there'll be hiccups. No, you built in my farm, so this is not the government house. In fact, it's my farm. Break the house. I don't need it. This is my land. And deliberately, the government now, and under Ministry of Education, they have put up a department that is encouraging all schools now to have a cartographic map drawn for all schools. All schools must be put on title. When all school land is put on title, maybe that idea can work out well. I yield. Sorry, I've sounded controversial at Danny. Mutandumiga.
No. I think there's some points there. Just mute yourself.
Okay, I've muted.
So there are some points there, and the fact of the matter, but according to what I know, the little knowledge that I know is, the Ministry of Education actually, owns a lot of land. Most of the schools, if there's a school, then obviously there was land allocated to that school. And in most cases, they don't even utilize half of the land. And that's why you find all the encroachment of farmers and everybody in. And according to what you're saying, if they can map out, say, okay, this is school here, or this area where we demarcated for a school, what is, hectareage or whatever, how big is it, what's the land? And then if it's mapped out, they say, oh, this is how much it is. I think then you can work from there, and then you can figure it out, say, how are we going to build these school homes, or teachers' homes, because back in the days, what teachers' compounds, they used to be those small, they build those, in the council days, they build them small, but, they were all over, and teachers still had some sort of a decent accommodation, even though it's in a rural area. And that can apply, but it still can be, a new modern, teacher's home, but within that same circle, same land. And if possible, they can even do some apartments, and according to what Daniel was saying, you cannot build a nice apartment in a rural area, but it can be designed with local material and designed in the standard of where they are, so if there isn't much land, build an apartment, instead of making one house at a small area, make an apartment where you maybe have 2 or 5 homes, at one area, rather than just one house. So those are the other options I would think, and stuff like that. But moving along, the other one you said was the land itself, isn't it, Danny, is owned by Chinese?
Yes, we have massive land in Zambia that was sold to the Chinese community. The Chinese people in Zambia now own massive hectares of land in our country, and they are actually selling to us now. They are partitioning these massive lands they were given by the PF, and selling to us. And guess what? A friend of mine, a Zambian married to a Chinese person in Canada, found Zambian land being sold in China. You don't have to go to Zambia. You buy land in China there, and then you just go there with your titles back to Zambia. So it's not right. We need to reconsider the land allocation. I'm saying this because where I grew up myself, my father was Lozi, but grew up in the Salaland. I mean, worked all his life in Salaland. Where we used to send animals, as I said last week, where we used to send animals for grazing, the communal grazing land now belongs to Chinese people. So we don't even have anywhere now to send our animals for grazing. So it's sad. We need to reconsider this. We can't be buying land in our own country from the Chinese people. I'm not saying that let's take the land from them like Mugabe did, but let's consider getting part of that and give it back to our citizens. Thank you.
I think I remember, I think there's one person, if I can remember back in the days, Galun owned a lot of farmland. Like he had like massive, like, everywhere he goes, the land is owned by Galun. This Galun. I think at one point they reached a point where they started, demarcating it and stuff like that. But Amwanza, what's your take on this topic? I don't know if you've been following in the background.
Yeah, so I think Dr. Dan is very right there. We need to revisit the land issue. The Chinese are really they bought a lot of land, and I don't know what. Okay, maybe we can say some of it was done during PF, but even us in UPND were doing the same. I remember when the president came for the diaspora conference in Livingstone, one of the things he talked about was he doesn't understand why people sell land. What he was suggesting is like the way Mukuni has done it. If you're an investor, come and invest in my land. In Lala land, where the Danis used to graze their animals. If the land is there, come and invest in my area than selling it to the Chinese. And you see, China, we love their investment, we love everything, but they've really thought through this strategy of depopulating their country and things like that. So they are not playing. If we are selling them, they can buy the entire province. If you wake up the following day, you'll be needing a passport to go there. So we need to be very, very careful. And we need to be very, very, very careful. And the people we have at lands, including the top leadership, we need to really be very careful.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think this land issue, I think new policies need to be done. Of course, we need to advance in where our land policy is. I think it needs to work to the benefit of the locals, work to the benefit of any other Zambian right now, because if we leave it the way it is, it's sort of porous at the point. Because if Dr. Dan is saying you can just go to China and you can also buy land from there, which is in Zambia, I don't know how possible it is for me to go to China, okay, or I'm in Zambia and then I buy land that is in China. I don't know how possible that is.
But Dan, can I add a little bit too? It's possible. In Manitoba here, most of the land is owned by Germans.
Mm-hmm.
So the landlords are not even here. Yeah, yes. So you go to some of these rural Manitoba, they don't even speak English, they speak German.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I think the way Canada has designed some of these things, there are certain areas where they want people to actually go and settle. So that's a little bit of difference. They want people to actually go there and settle, and they've deliberately put the weekend or maybe put all kind of policies where you can go and you own land and stuff like that. But in the cities, I don't know how possible, how unless otherwise. But
okay, sorry, I'm not trying to get into an argument. I think you live in Ontario. Manitoba and Saskatchewan has the largest population of indigenous people. So even you can have an urban reserve right in the center of town, where the gas is different from the other filling station. They have their own university. So they are displacing people, the owners of the land. So it's not any different from Zambia. You'll find yourself as the indigenous and natives here.
Okay. All right. That's a good point to learn. That's a good point to learn, actually. Bahamwami, what you got to say on this one?
People, the thing of land being sold in China, Zambian land on sale in China. You know, when did Scramble for Africa take place? 1884. That was enough. This is tantamount to Scramble for Africa, Mwewantu. How even allow you are in China, Zambia land is on sale. You buy from China. You come to Zambia you come with papers. This is criminal. Land is our heritage. Land is our only heritage. So I would even say, takwa bachimbi chalo icho betati Zambia. Chalo chesu chino. Now, people in China, Zambian land is, there's even an advert. No. Scramble for Africa is 1884. That was then. Now, it's our land. Even the national anthem is clear. Where is our pride? Zambia, proud and free. It's our land. How can it be sold by Chinese? You sell land to a Chinese and then a Chinese starts selling. You sell your birthright. That land they are selling, maybe even as graveyards for our ancestors. Land has memories. Let them buy houses in town. It's okay. Let them buy plots in commercial areas, but not vast areas of land, converting it to tradition. Which chief signed even for that land? What is patriotism? The other day, the president was talking about the SONA, State of the Nation address. He hinted on being patriotic for the country. Surely, if you are such a person, I hope you are listening to me, whoever you are. You who sold land to the Chinese and you have heard that the Chinese are selling land to Zambians. You must be very, very un-Zambian. Sorry, I'm becoming very, very hard. You must be un-Zambian. You are not patriotic. We cannot have a situation where our great-grandchildren will be aliens in their own land because the Chinese have gotten. Do Zambians own an inch of land in China? It even reminds me of Mugabe now. Oh, Blair, keep your England, and I'll keep my Zimbabwe. You can imagine that's the pride we have. Huh? No. That man or that chief, please, I submit.
That brings us to the topic. I think let's talk about the SONA. So, gentlemen, what's your take on the SONA? Obviously, its main theme was to deal with, patriotism, national values. Bahamwami, you just mute for 1 second.
I mute. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the feedback. So, just national values. Where we are, where we're going, and what challenges do we still have at the moment. And of course, we have to look at the achievements and stuff like that. Oscar, what was your take on the SONA?
To be honest, I haven't listened to it. Remember yesterday I was saying I'm having the challenge, but I saw the link. This on my to-do list actually after this podcast. I haven't listened to it for me to speak intelligently. Yeah.
Oh no problem. I think it's pretty much basic. I think what the president was actually telling us is Zambia, as we are as a country, we of course follow certain certain beliefs, certain cultural beliefs. And of course, we're principled, especially in the new current government. There's been so much achievement in terms of one, there's no cadarism anymore. And he actually emphasized to that point to say it doesn't mean cadarism is like it's when somebody is doing clean politics, you're a cadre, right? But the cadarism of where now you're using pangas and stuff like that, those kind of dirty politics, that's all gone. You're not gonna find it. Clean example is all the by-elections that have happened throughout, including Chawama, where people would, this one, UPN is going this side, PF is going this side, they started great. Back in the days, you can never ever see that happen. There would have been bloodshed. So I think those are the achievements when we come to national values that have happened in the current government. And I think kudos to the government, kudos to the president, kudos to the whole team that have actually made sure that these things don't become a recurring event every time there's an election. Somebody killed, dies, or is hurt. So those a few things, and obviously talked about if you look at the education system, about 2.5 million children have gone back to school. So imagine all these people, where were they all this time? They're obviously on the streets, they're obviously at home, they're obviously being engaged in all these other, early child marriages and stuff like that. So those are the national values you're touching on, saying, because of all these, things that we've done as a government, at least we're seeing a change. Feeding program, which is huge. Students no longer have to go home; they stay in school. This is just another way of making sure that the children are in school instead of them going home. They stay in school because they know, what am I going to do at home? I rather eat my lunch. Afternoon class, I attend it. Because I remember some of us, if there's a doja lunch, doge. You see? So, but that's not what's happening. Is you stay in school, you learn until you go home and stuff like that. So those are the issues and the disadvantages. He talked about early marriages, and all this stuff, which is still happening. And I believe I think we need to really strengthen the laws on that one. So because it all boils in one: early marriages, child abuse, all these things, they all boil in one. Because in Zambia, in most cases, like especially in the rural areas, if somebody happens to maybe impregnate an underage kid, the family is, tent can be signing. There's always that issue. Just turn it off, buddy. Okay? There's always that issue of tent can be signing. And once the families meet and talk, then the issue of child abuse is off the table. So these are the issues that actually people, the government systems need to really strengthen, so that when something like this happens, it's automatic. Turn what off? Okay, buddy, you're disturbing. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So that's the thing. Mr. Macha, what's your take on this one?
My take is very, very nice on this one. Those children are not disturbing you at Rufiaimwe. You are, those are our assets. They are, in fact, they should be listening to some of these things. Listen, people, the best thing that ever happened in this sauna is that I never heard of people walking out, MPs walking out of parliament. How many did walk away? Do we have records of those that walked away, especially from the opposition? The unity. Hello? Am I audible here? Hello.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Do we have
stepped out.
Oh, yeah. Do we have evidence of members of the opposition party that walked away, like they always want to do, to just make HH look as if he's not organized? Walk away on him. Are they fearing punishment? Are they fearing to be punished, or is it mandatory? I was happy with the attendance. In his State of the Nation, the president lamented a lot about the way people are lacking seriousness towards issues that concern governance. People that want to take things casually. He even went to an extent of saying that, when you are working hard, government will meet you halfway. They'll give you what you want because you are straight. There is lamenting on a situation where people want to use shortcuts to gain wealth. It's wrong. In the State of the Nation, he mentioned that very clearly. Talking about debt restructuring, he hinted a point where he says, African problems, African solutions. It's not always that IMF will draw what is good for you. Give them a plan. This is our plan, and then we want to work like this. Help us. Let's help each other. That one was one of the points he hinted. The other one was on the back to education. For the first time, 70% pass rate has been attained, which he attributes to more pupils in school and the grants that are being given to schools. It's like there's a way in which they're turning around the situation, which will make educational policies to be achieved. In his same SONA, State of the Nation, he talked about the industrialization of the country. He's talking about mines opening up through use of influential people like MPs. To him, it's not just fashionable when when you are just an MP, it's not just you being a lawmaker. You must also be an investor of some kind. Go out and lure people that will come and bring development in your area. That MP from Sinda was praised so much. There's a phosphate mine that is going to be opened, and then that mine, once opened, will create 5,000 jobs for the locals. That's the way to go. Then he also hinted on the way Zambians relate towards one another. Love transcends everything. There's just this need for people to just love one another. And even as we go towards elections, he hinted to say there has to be a way of people just being like brothers and sisters. That violence under his regime will not be tolerated. That Kadarism, no, not under his reign. So it's like he gave an assurance to say this year's elections will be free and fair. But again, we'll hear the opposition saying they'll cry foul. No, we've not been given that. No, we've not been what? We've not been allowed chance to campaign. But it's coming on now. We have a safe from the SONA. Zambia is in safe hands. That's what I concluded. I listened to the whole of it yesterday. Zambia is in safe hands. Where I even went to talk about the founding fathers. The founding fathers, what they did for the country. They meant well. Now, us in this generation, we are trying to undo what they did. What is it that we want, which will work for our children? If our founding fathers meant well, why is it that us now do not mean well? He complained bitterly on that one. Everyone meaning well, it shall be well.
Okay.
Yes, I yield.
Fantastic. Okay. Go. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Dan. Oh, Mr. Mwanza, whoever wants to go first.
Like I mentioned, that I haven't really listened to.
Oh, yeah. No, you mentioned. So, Radani, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So, Sona. On the Sona.
No, I didn't listen to the speech, but I read the few pages of the speech.
Okay.
But yeah, what Amwami has been talking about, yeah, it's he went through a lot of cardinal things that we as a nation should be aware of, and I think it was a good speech. I was surprised. People were saying it's going to take 4, 5, 7 hours, but I think it was shorter this time around. It wasn't that long. Yeah, he touched on things that we are taking for granted as Zambians. Just to remind us of what we need to be doing. Yeah.
And just one point that I overlooked. I don't know how it did not cross my mind. The issue of security in mining. You know, the way he hinted it was like mining, if not handled well, can breed a lot of insecurity in Zambia, especially in this election year. According to what was discovered in those mines in Mfumbwe, where there was that mining noise there, there were foreigners that had come in the country to do mining, and they were wielding guns. And he basically put it that being commander-in-chief of the armed forces, he will use all powers available to him to quash any illegal mining that even borders on criminality. Mining is business. Now, if that business is going to involve criminality, it ceases to be. How are people going to pay tax? What will be the safety? How is our environment going to be left? It will just be a free-for-all thing, a punch-up, free punch-up. You won't know. Just imagine in a football match where there's no referee. Would you claim you have scored? You can't claim that you have scored because no, there was this, it happened. So he said for him, order in mining will come whether people like it or not. Much as there is need people wanting to survive, it must be done in an orderly manner. And he even said it that there are even some infrastructure being done around the same place now. There's organized mining. There are roads that are being built there. Okay, we are yet to see them. There are roads being built there. Whatever infrastructure is being put up there to modernize it or to legalize it, we are yet to see. And the other thing that came out clear from his sonar was the powers that the army now has. They will even come to the aid of government when there's an infrastructure breakdown. We've known the army, Zambia National Service, to feed us, cheap meal. Now they'll even be called when a bridge collapses, like it did in Eastern Province, quickly the army gets in. You know, we are getting to a situation where we are seeing the army working like they do in other countries. The army would come when there's a disaster. We've known the army to be like maybe in preparation for war. Zambia has no war. But imagine the money that we pay the soldiers. Every month we pay. What are they doing? But if they will come to the aid of the nation, well and good. That's one point I forgot to mention.
Dr. Chkonka, you haven't spoken on this one?
No, I haven't. I am so sorry. I'm having challenges with my connection again.
No problem.
But I can chime in. Tell me what is going on.
Can you just mute, please? All right. Yeah. So I think we're just talking about the presidential address, the honor that he had, and what are the key points? What did you take from there? What stood out to you? I don't know if you read or watched it.
No.
What did you take? What's your taking on that one?
No, I will have to be open about that. I have no idea what was spoken about. I didn't have a chance to listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys, everybody that hasn't watched it, after the program, go to page and go and watch it, because the videos there, I rebroadcasted it live, and a lot of people were happy to see it. So you can go per page, per tag, and go and watch it. It's there.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah,
and also one point, he encouraged people to go and verify as voters. Those that register, they must go and verify their details, so that on that election day, everything is right. No one should be denied the right to vote because of incorrect details. People were encouraged to go and vote. I'm going to vote in Zambia, August 13. I'll be there to vote. Can someone put up a hand? Who else is going to vote with me in Zambia? My hand is up.
I'll be going to vote as well in August.
Thank you.
It will be my first time. I didn't vote for
did you register? Did you register?
I didn't even register. I cannot lie.
But again, let me ask this question.
But I think I want it to be more easier, like the proposal, like that's been done.
Yes.
Where us here in the diaspora can just do it online. You don't necessarily have to travel.
Okay, look, I verified my details here online. I verified my details here in England. Now, if I can verify my details here in England, why can't you also register?
Yeah. Can I add on the registration part?
Go ahead.
I think these are the improvements we need to make. So when I got my dual citizenship, we changed the reg. So now my voter's card and the reg does not match, and I couldn't do it from here. And I know I'll be in Zambia in June. So I wish there were easier way of doing some of these things online. Because I still have the old one, I have the new one, just cross-check and boom, and then correct it. Yeah.
And maybe to just make things easy, the passport now should be used as a voting thing for people in the 11th province. Because sometimes reg is overtaken by events. Just presenting a passport, it's not your fault that you are not out of the country. You really want to vote. UPND, please. You people on top there. Can you tell those people to vote on my passport? This time and age, surely. Using a passport. Okay. Who issues the passport? The government of Zambia. Who issues the registration card? The government of Zambia. Same ministry. And one document is rendered invalid. They only need a green registration card. Even the passport is green. Okay, some are blue, but
that's why I could have that official documentation. So anyway, let me check on something, guys. I'll be back. Meantime, let's go to the next topic: the firing of the 2 cabinet ministers. Who wants to go first?
I want to go first on the relieving duty of Muchima. Now, you see, when you are hired by the president, you are hired, you are appointed. It's as good as being hired. The next thing is you'll be fired. Now, when you are hired, you are entrusted with people, resources, and mandate. You be in charge of an area. You are a minister. You are an MP. CDF will be, you have to oversee the development of certain things. There are certain, they are barest minimums. They're the barest minimum that is expected of you being a MP. There are certain things that should be in your constituency. Just because you're an MP, you are supposed to make sure that certain things are there. You lobby. You create an enabling environment for some facilities to be there to reduce poverty levels, to make people access social services, to make people access, enjoy their human rights. But for our brother, former health minister, according to a post on social media, I don't know, we take it with a pinch of salt. The ECL constituency is very much underdeveloped. So because of that, he fell out of favor with the president. That's on social media. There may be other issues that we do not know, but based on social media, he's saying that the rate of development has not impressed him. Especially the road that links whatever to Kaoma, Mwinilunga Kaoma, I don't know whatever that road is. It is in a terrible state whereby if he was, as he was MP, he could have maybe influenced the development of that road, making it better. So according to him, HH, it's not like there was the level at which development in that area was coming up did not impress him so much. Then for the other one who is nominated, we need to understand where this Elias Mwanga came from. It was in the days when UPND, when it was very unpopular to be in UPND. He was one of those that were arrested in Kasama somewhere, bundled with one of the current permanent secretaries, Nicholas Tembo. There's one permanent secretary now. So from that, he was identified, nominated as a member of parliament. Now the ministry he held, yes, has been grabbed away from him, but HH, being a man of his words, has said no, continue being an MP. So I like his heart, but it's like when you are not working, whatever, you're not working as he expects, you get something away from you, but leave you with something. That's what my take is on that one. Unless there's others with the different views, I yield.
Yeah, I think in my view, again, this is Kachepa. We will never know why they were fired anyway, but people are speculating that it's at ministerial level, not at their constitutional level. That probably there are deadlines that were given to do in their ministries and they didn't do those things. That's one of the Kachepas going around. Because HH is a man of deadlines. And if he tells you to do something within a certain period and you don't do it, then you're not gonna like him. Yeah. So I suspect that Kachepa is a little bit carries more substance in my view, because those are critical ministries in our government right now. And if you're given something to do with this within a certain period of time and you don't do it, then that affects a lot of people. And I think you deserve to be fired. Yeah.
Okay. So I know Macha has spoken, but Daniel spoken.
There's one thing I need to add here. Give
chance to your friend. But Conker keeps on dropping. Let's give him chance to also contribute.
Yes, I'm having a little bit of challenge, like I said, on my connections, but when I get a chance, this is an opportunity. Yeah.
Yes.
So regarding the firing of those two ministers,
Mute yourself, Hamwani.
is it is there any reason why it's like that? Anyway, um, so regarding those two firings of those two ministers, I believe it's a prerogative of the president to appoint and fire. I don't know. The firing part of it is like, the word firing sounds like more aggressive or harsh. It's like he just obviously is firing. He relieved them of their duties, never transferred them to anywhere. So he relieved them of their duties. There should be more to that than what we see. But it's good that they always keep it as private as possible, to not to tell everybody why certain people get terminated. To this date, we don't even know why Gary was terminated. Nobody can ever point a whole reason why he was terminated. So it's a good thing keeping it that way. It sounds to me like it's just a matter of meeting goals, like what Danny said. They might have not met the goals that he wanted to. And remember, this man came in after Sylvia Masebo, I believe, right? Especially the Minister of Health. So it's like the goals that they were given probably never met, and they just never performed. And this is why he has to show them the door. That's what I think. I don't know any other internal details why they probably could have. If there is any more internal details, it's probably something that is not out there, or only a few know why. I yield.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mwanza.
Yeah. So So this firing, whether it's dropping or firing, I think it's to keep it private. We understand, but as also, I think we have to find a way in future to minimize speculation. Okay, because if a minister a minister who is dropped for not performing or according to the expectation is different from a minister who is dropped for, say, for corruption. You see what I'm saying? So it just leaves everybody lumped in this, because what comes to our mind, we think there's ikata. So some are just, I think somehow maybe the president should know that going to details, then maybe hint. Because with Gary, he did hint at one of the, I think it was a function where he said we have given him things to do all the time, excuses, something like that. So he kind of hinted. But by then, we also had already other rumors going around that he had brought in 40 trucks and illegally or not cleared, blah, blah, blah. There was those kind of things going on already. But he did hint on Gary that it had to do more with not meeting deadlines. So you have Muchima, is a very educated man, whatever. So when you just drop him, I listened to his interview, he even seemed more disoriented. He also did not help himself, because this guy kept on throwing the Bill 7 thing. He could not affirmatively say yes or no. So what if it was? But I think, are you dropped because of loyalty issue? Are you dropped because there's a case involving anti-corruption? Are you being dropped for performance? I think for the benefit of the public, I think, like I said, we don't want non-performing or underachievers to be lumped like, oh, he was dropped because I think he stole something. No. You see what I'm saying? I think that's my concern too. Then generally, the other Mubanga, I don't know him much other than, he's one of the people that I think Dr. Danny said that was there before, when it was not fashionable to be new PND in Northern Province that time. Honorable Muchima, on the other point, I know this is health is a national ministry, but I'm also not happy with MPs from Northwestern Province in general, because I think this province despite having very powerful MPs and ministers, vice presidents, and what, is still very much underdeveloped. So you wonder what they do. They don't lobby. This road you're talking about, the Kaoma and Winirunga, it would be shorter to go to Northwestern Province, than going through this Solwezi, Copper Belt, and that kind of thing. But it's one regime after another. So not specific to Honorable Muchima, but to Northwestern MPs in general, if I compare them to MPs from Southern Province.
Yeah. Good point. Good points. Good points, guys. I think talking about the two ministers, with Gary Mpundu, I don't want to dwell much on that one because obviously it's something a little bit sensitive. But Muchima, I saw his interview on Diamond TV, and he categorically refused to say, "Look, if I had voted for Bill 7, is it Bill? What bill are we talking about? Is it Bill 10?
Bill 7.
Bill 7. Bill 7. Okay. So he said the way the parliament is structured is we sit next to each other, and you're able to see what you're doing and what you're voting for. So if I was voting against it, my neighbor, who's, I don't know, I forget the minister's name, and the other one, they would have known, they would have seen, right? So that was his explanation. That's what he said on Diamond TV. And he completely refused to say, no, I support the president. And if he has decided to remove me, I accept it. That's what he was saying. So to him, he came out like saying, look, it's not a big deal. I don't take it to heart. And stuff like that, and so the moderator asked him, like, look, is it because you didn't perform? According to him, he's saying I've performed well and stuff according to what he was saying, but well, does it translate to what the people in the community see or have achieved? There, I wouldn't know. I don't know. And in the ministry itself, of course, they moved him from lands to the health sector. Now, I think these two ministries, to be honest, I think they're very sensitive ministries. Lands, we all know that lands has been a hub for corruption for many years. And just to root it out, I doubt if, I don't know if we're going to do it in this coming decade. Ministry of Health itself, another sensitive, because now you're dealing with people's health and you're dealing with all these other things, and also corruption is huge there. Now, necessarily, it may be just for argument's sake, or maybe just to play devil's advocate. Maybe he's not even involved in all these things that are happening there, but the people under him, are performing all these practices, making it difficult for medicine to be everywhere, and just certain things, but he is the head, right? So what does the president do? They go to the head. But I'm not saying that's what happened or that was the reason. I'm just speculating. And so I don't know. Like I said, these two ministries, they're really, 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 really sensitive, and it would need somebody. I don't know what kind of a minister would need, but for Elias Mubanga, science and technology, I don't know where we can point at in terms of technology. Elias Mubanga, yeah, that was science. No. Yeah, science and technology, right? Elias Mubanga. No.
No, it was small, medium, something.
SMEs. There it's Wadan Kadeba, our big man there. But SMEs. So I don't know if we look at the small businesses industries in Zambia, have they thrived since he's been a minister? Because obviously we're trying to figure out what the reason is. Has he thrived? Have they thrived? Have we had more industries in the small sector open up since he became the minister? Or have we seen a decline? Or are we seeing more opportunities for our local people to come in and actually, be a shining example? Because in most economies, they're being led by small businesses are the ones that are actually running most of the world economies. So what huge significant projects or impact has the small business made in the last 5 years, 4 years rather? So I don't know, gentlemen, how we can decipher that one. But I see Makalinda, are you ready to talk, or you're still listening?
Oh no, I can talk now. Actually,
Okay,
where are we at now? Where are we?
We're on the
I'm so
firing of the
sorry.
two
I can
ministers.
talk now.
We are on the firing of the two ministers.
All right. So tell me what we're talking about.
Yeah, when the two ministers, the cabinet, Muchima,
the two ministers that were fired.
Exactly.
Why were they fired? Okay, I see what you're talking
what's
about.
the implication? What do you think is the reason? Or is it performance, or maybe is it lack of being patriotic to the UPND party as a party, or like what is it? What's the real issue or story? Because I think there are no reasons that were given. Go ahead.
When the president fires ministers, you and I and everybody else on this panel, they know that he doesn't give any reasons, right? But we can speculate. Okay, so I'm going to speculate here. I think the two ministers have their hands, caught in a cookie jar. That's one. Two, one that's been ringing the highest on social media is that they're in cahoots with the opposition to topple the current president. So, what is it? Is the question. At this point, I don't know, but I can speculate. My speculation is like their hands were caught in a cookie jar. Maybe their performance. At this point, it could be anything, truly speaking. But if the president saw fit to fire them, I would like to say, I believe in this president. He doesn't act until he has all his facts right in front of him. So we're not good enough, or whatever the case is. All I can appeal is if they were fired because of corrupt practices, or whatever they were not servicing the country the way they're supposed to. I would like to say that I'd like to appeal or suggest to ACC or DEC to move in and investigate. Because remember, we're just coming from a background where the United States government withdrew support to Zambia because of drugs that were donating. Actually, I'm a taxpayer to those drugs to the country that were being found on the streets of Lusaka. So who knows? It could be that. So I would like to wait and see. And that's my comment. As of now, as the daughter of, Shikatende and Lugwalo, I am there. I've spoken enough.
Well, we understand. Well heard and well spoken. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the end of the program.
But can I just add one short line on Mr. Mwanga, the Minister of Small Scale? Yes. Yeah. So this is why I mentioned earlier on that I wish the president could share a little bit sometimes, so that we don't think they are bad people, they need to go to anti-corruption and things like that. So on small scale business, look at the challenges that we've had in terms of power and energy. So what was his role? How did he try to help? Because we always look about funding and things like that, but small businesses were bleeding and suffering. And the little I heard even on this SONA, the president did apologize or speak to the energy challenge and crisis. So one of the ministries that I think was also severely affected is this small businesses enterprise, and I don't know what his role was in trying to help there. So I thought I could just add that one as well.
That's a good observation, because I remember, I think there was a time when they said they're going to start distributing those generators across all markets. I think the program started. I don't know how it ended. If it continued, just to alleviate, these small scale businesses. So they were going to place generators in all the major markets. I don't know how far that one went. And of course, the markets that benefited from it, they were, especially happy about it because they were able to operate the little barber shops and little saloons, and it kept them afloat. But I don't know how far, and I don't know, like you're saying, we don't know what his role was. But all being said, we can only speculate. And of course, Elias Mwanga is a name that's, of course, the well-known. It was, huge during the campaign time, and hopefully it's nothing to do with, corruption, or maybe it's just a way of, putting him in a different position and bringing in somebody else. Like I said, we can only speculate. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's conclude. Starting with our very own lady here. If you can put up your last remarks, then we go to Mr. Mwanza, and then Hamwami, because Hamwami talks too much, and then we conclude the program and be back next week. Rakalinda.
Hey, I'm right here. Anyway, since we are ending this podcast, I would like to apologize to everybody that's been. I've been in and out. I've been caught. I'm caught up. It's 9:00 here, where I am in Preston, just outside Manchester in the UK. So it's Saturday night. There's a lot of things going on out here. I'm just saying. Yeah. Anyway, but thank you for giving me this privilege to feature on your podcast, and we see you guys next Saturday at same time. And when I get back to the stateside, I will resume the Bantu TV with special guests that I have lined up starting in March. So just watch this space and. Keep it locked. Keep the faith. I'm out.
Okay. Mr. Mwanza.
Karinda, I saw the background before you muted, before you blocked the video. I said, why are you having that nice drink outside? We are cold here. Anyway.
Well, it's rainy and gray over here. I think Mr. Himwami can attest to that. I've only seen this. I've only seen the sun twice since I arrived here almost a month now.
Okay. So for me, I'm looking. I'm anxious to see who is going to replace the two ministers that have been let go. Whether the ministries will stay vacant until after the elections, or is gonna appoint the replacement. So I'm anxious. Maybe I missed the news, but so far nothing. So
yeah. Okay. Himwami Ramacha. He's disappeared now.
Nabwira 9 o'clock. Now we live. Abantu baletamba bora right now.
No, we got a big game tomorrow. But in any case,
Man City is leading right now at home to Newcastle 2-1. Yeah,
so 2-1. With me, I think I would close up by saying, it's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, with the SONA itself, I was so proud with our president, the way he presented it. And I think, just the humanity in the president, where he actually even apologized to the Zambian people. I've never heard any, I don't know, in the past presidents, the way they've apologized to the people when something is wrong. Of course, in terms of the electricity and stuff like that. But of course, he assured the Zambian people that there's so many projects going on right now that's going to mitigate all these, deficiencies in the electricity or power sector. So, just on that point, I would say, guys, let's continue next week. And of course, God bless and have yourself a nice weekend. Enjoy your families, guys. Bye and see you next week.